my name is Melissa Mercadal Brotons. I'm very pleased that you have chosen to devote some of your time over here to learn a little bit more on the topic of the use of music-based resources with caregivers of people living with dementia. I am currently based in Barcelona, Catalonia, and Spain. And I would like to tell you a little bit more about myself before we start on the specific topic. I have been a music therapist for over 35 years. I was born into a family of musicians. My grandparents, my mother, and my brothers have all been musicians, and my father was a fond and supporting listener. I started playing the guitar at the age of 5, and when I turned 8, I started studying the flute, the instrument with which I completed all my musical studies. I was born on the small Balearic island of Menorca, and at the age of 18, I had to move to Barcelona to attend the university. I majored in psychology, a discipline I enjoyed, but I never wanted to abandon playing music. It was at the university in the early 1980s that I discovered the book Music in Therapy, published in 1968, who is considered the first music therapy book, and it was published or written by Tyler Gaston, who is also considered the father of music therapy in the United States. That book was a revelation for me. When I started reading about music therapy and what music therapists do, I realized that this was the perfect profession for me, since it would allow combining my two passions, music and psychology, to put them at the service of people in need. There was no music therapy training in Barcelona or Spain at that time, but I had the opportunity to move to the United States, where I was accepted at the Florida State University to study a master's degree in music therapy. When I finished the degree, I started working as a clinical music therapist with several populations, one of them being older people and persons with dementia. Since 1992, my clinical and research work has focused on the area of dementia, including people with a variety of dementias and the human beings who provide care for them, that is, professional and family caregivers. Currently, I'm the director of the Music Therapy Master's Program at the Escola Superior de Música de Catalunya in Barcelona, as well as the Deputy Director of Academic Affairs. I'm also a member of the group Singular Music and Alzheimer, which is composed of 12 professional music therapists specializing in older adults and dementia. We are working in a good number of nursing homes and daycare centers around Catalonia, providing direct music therapy services, carrying out research projects, and offering training and supervision to caregivers on the use of music-based resources for people with dementia they care for. We also collaborate very closely with local Alzheimer's associations and professionals from other health disciplines. Also, on the topic of music and dementia, I have the honor to lead a special interest group of the International Association of Music and Medicine, which focuses on the topic of dementia, which is comprised of 7 international experts from 5 different countries. One of the aims of the group is to advocate for the recognition of music therapy as a rehabilitative service for people with dementia. We do it through a variety of activities, such as international presentations and publications. So, this tutorial is based on my 30 years of work as a clinician and researcher with people living with dementia and their caregivers in the United States and Spain. I'll be presenting the literature that supports the use of music therapy and music-based activities with people living with dementia and their caregivers, and the training of family and professional caregivers by professional music therapists from diverse countries on the use of music-based resources in institutions and at home in the care of people living with dementia. This tutorial will also show some evaluation tools specifically designed to measure the different intervention outcomes. It is imperative that as professional music therapists, we create frameworks for service provision that guarantee the highest quality and safest interventions for the people we serve, while also developing the best resources to maximize the use of music in our clients' everyday life. So the learning outcomes can be summarized as follows. So after working through the materials included in this tutorial, you participants should be able to, one, summarize the high points of current literature that support the use of music therapy and music-based interventions with people living with dementia and their caregivers. Two, to be able to differentiate between music therapy and music-based resources for people living with dementia and their caregivers. Three, to be able to advocate for the role of the professional music therapist in the different uses of music with people living with dementia and their caregivers. Four, to understand the process for developing, implementing, and evaluating music-based resources for people living with dementia and or their caregivers. And five, apply practical music-based experiences to your music therapy practice.